Hello everybody and welcome to today's episode of the Pritchard Cycling News Show. Now if you didn't see any content yesterday from us, you're bloody lucky. Anyway, nothing happened yesterday, don't worry about it. Let's get straight into the news, and first up, smart bikes. But not just any old smart bike. When I first saw the Wahoo kicker bike, I was bowled over by its style, its elegance, its strength, its beauty. And I thought to myself, that is the bike I want in my pain cave. Until I saw this.
You like to pedal but not outside? Try this year's His and Hers gift, called a laser tour. As you pedal away the pounds, it produces pleasant panorama. Cost $20,000.
I mean, I was going to treat the wife to a brand new Peloton bike for her birthday, but after seeing that, being able to ride your favourite roller coasters on your bike, you better believe I'm buying that. Oh, before I forget, remember when this happened in last week's show?
I am a real cyclist, but not the virtual one.
That was Peter Sagan explaining that he was never going to be a virtual cyclist. He's a real cyclist. No, he doesn't sound like that, does he? I'm a real cyclist. No, I ain't got it. Anyway, he basically said that he wasn't succumbing to the indoor race scene. Oh, look at that! Peter Sagan's on Zwift. I wonder how much he paid for that. What? Next up, and check this out, over on Indiegogo, this brand new bike is making waves as it is currently the most funded campaign so far on Indiegogo in 2020. It's a single speed Eleki bike, which in my opinion looks actually bloody cool. So the motor is in the rear hub and the battery is hidden within the frame, so essentially it just looks like a normal bike. Look at this though, still 19 days to go and it's already raised 3.8 million quid. But I guess the question is, how has it raised so much money? Well, actually I have no idea what the answer to that is, but I'm surmising it's down to the name, because this bike is called the Baby Maker. I mean, who doesn't want to ride a Baby Maker? That sounds wrong on so many levels. Anyway, if you want to go and get your hands on one of these, head over to the Indiegogo, put your money where your mouth is. I mean, I like it, it's a pretty cool bike. I'd definitely take one for free. After this promotion, they should bloody give me one for free. Anyway, links down in the description to the campaign. Go and check it out if you're in the market for a brand new single speed Eleki bike. And next up, from a company with a surplus of money to a cycling team with a shortage of money. And over the weekend, we saw riders from Bigla Katusha pen an open letter to their sponsors asking them to honour their sponsorship funding for 2020 after it was announced that both title sponsors are considering pulling out of the deal. A team press release issued on their website said the team's future is in jeopardy after receiving a letter from title sponsor Bigla saying that the company wishes to withdraw a majority of their usual payments to the team. And the other title sponsor, Katusha, has already declined to pay this month's payments to the team as well. A press release from Katusha on Friday said, due to its current financial situation, many commitments of the company had to be reviewed and the financial sponsorships with professional teams are unfortunately in jeopardy for the coming months. Now it's sad to think that this story probably isn't going to be the last within the professional peloton. In fact, last week we heard that Team CCC's future might be in jeopardy after their title sponsor, CCC, announces losses of €75 million in their first quarter, stating that it may be forced to cease sponsorship for sporting activities in 2020 and potentially 2021. So this issue could cause the men's, the women's and the development team there to all fold. But with no racing on the horizon, what does this actually mean for teams that are already struggling financially? Is anybody going to survive this, or are we going to see, like I said before, teams starting to fold before racing even commences again? It's a scary time, but does this mean that the whole system and the business model within professional cycling is broken? Does something need to change within professional cycling to help support this? If you think about CCC in terms of a football team, that's like a Man United, a Tottenham Hotspur, a Real Madrid. Now you can't help thinking that the governing bodies at football would not allow these teams to fold. I don't even know if there's an answer to this, because cycling is one of the only sports that's free to go and watch. You can go and stand by the roadside. If the race is passing you by, you can go and watch it free of charge. You don't have to pay for tickets. And I feel that that's like one of the major downfalls of cycling. I mean, it's great and accessible, but at the same time, it doesn't bring any more revenue in, and the only revenue that comes in is from TV rights or those sponsors. I don't know. I ain't no Jordan Belfort though. Maybe there is a financial answer to all this, and if you know it, then leave your comments down below. Finance in sport. Discuss. Next up, and we're heading over to the virtual world where, well, it's the only place we can actually watch some racing at the minute. Last week we saw the very first Tour de Suisse take place over on Rouvy. They had 16 World Tour teams. They had 2 Conti teams and the Swiss national team racing over 5 stages. And I've got to admit, it was pretty bloody good. Now it seems that Rowan Dennis has a career in online racing after his road career has finished, because he took victory in 2 of the stages on the Tour de Suisse. And don't forget his Alpe de Zwift win only a few weeks ago. But I've got to say, on the Tour de Suisse, my highlights have to be stage 4, where Stefan Kung and Michael Matthews fought it out for the victory.
I think we're in for quite the finale here, Declan. Stefan Kung's on a charge. This is going to be a really fascinating battle. Stefan's now within 200 metres of Matthews. That's, I think, the last checkpoint is just 17 seconds.
It's turning into a nail-biter. This is getting very close indeed. 166, 167 metres between them. Well, he's going to get there, and he's going to get there very quickly. It's remarkable.
Look at this. Matthews is responding now, up to 8.89 watts per kilo. There's some huge numbers that Matthews is putting out, and that will hurt Stefan. This is even more exciting than some time trials.
Here comes Kung by way of response. He steps it up again. Virtual progress across the tarmac, approaching the maximum speed of 70 kilometers an hour. Stefan Kung goes into the lead within the final kilometer, and this is going to be a match race. They're under the kite, 1,000 meters left. Michael Matthews right there. Stefan Kung has the advantage, and they're going to get through this final kilometer in around about a minute at this pace, because Kung, well, one wonders whether he could possibly have anything left after that chase. He's going to have the lead, but he knows he's up against a man who is one of the top classic sprinters in the peloton. Stefan Kung is starting to put some daylight between himself and Michael Matthews inside the final 200 metres. He's not going to be denied. Stefan Kung is going to take a second victory in the Digital Swiss 5. 100 metres to go. Matthews has given his all, but he's had to give best to this man. Stefan Kung gets the victory.
And then next up, this stage 3. I think all the other platforms should take note of this moment, as Rouvy analysts noticed that during the race, Pierre Latour was riding either an uncalibrated or a miscalibrated trainer, and well,
Latour continues
they basically just pulled him out.
In second place ahead of Larry Warbass now. Ilnur Zakharin has moved up into 4th position for the CCC team. The Russian rider always brings his A game to Switzerland, even if he's not in Switzerland. And we have had a change at the top of the standings, I can tell you. At the moment, it's showing Nicholas Roach ahead of Larry Warbass. So Roach and Latour has dropped away from our screens, and I think there could well be a bit of information around that. We understand, and it's just coming through to us now, that the calibration of Pierre Latour's trainer has been checked and found to be incorrect.
So yeah, Pierre Latour smashing it up the road. Obviously someone at Rouvy looked at it and went, these numbers don't look right, something's happening here. Get him out. Not because he's cheating, but because it's making a mockery of the race. You got to hand it to the guys at Rouvy. Like, fair play for doing that. Fair play for realising that there was a problem and instantly nipping it in the bud, saying no, because this is going to affect the rest of the race. You've got a guy smashing it to bits up the road on, I'm not saying he was cheating, he probably wasn't, but he's on uncalibrated machinery. So he's smashing up the road. Then the guy in 2nd and 3rd are going, right, we'll try and chase, we'll chase. Then we'll die. And then the guys in 4th, 5th, 6th, who have been pacing themselves a little bit better, catch these in 3rd and 2nd. They then go back, so now you've got people who are 5th and 6th in 2nd and 3rd. You get where I'm going with this. It affects the whole race, the fact that someone's on there with miscalibrated machinery. And I've got to call Zwift out on this one, because we're seeing the Zwift Classic races with professional Pro-Am riders, right, all racing against each other, and then 4 or 5 weeks later, we're seeing completely different results because people can't back their data up. So you think you've seen a winner, and the race has been reactive to whoever's been within the race, but then these people who have either won the race or caused some sort of of action out of somebody else, not even in the race anymore. So they need to sort that out. But the fact that Rouvy just went, oi, get out, was a right touch. It was a right bloody touch. Now, one man who's clearly not impressed with this indoor racing malarkey is Jumbo-Visma's Tom Dumoulin. He spoke to Limburger.nl and he had this to say on the matter.
So I understand why online racing exists and it's better than nothing, but it's not close to reality. Wout van Aert is truly the king of pedalling power and finishes 10th in the virtual Tour of Flanders. The devices come from different brands and are not properly calibrated. It's essential. Weight to be recorded must be exactly correct, otherwise it'll be unfair.
And in typical fashion of someone who recently got beat on an online racing platform, he then went on to say,
I participated in the virtual goal race with an average power of 250 watts. Most riders can't keep up with that pace.
I don't know, Tom, you sound like a bit of a sore loser to me. Let's just hope he never enters a CCAT race and gets his ass handed to him by a 60-year-old with an FTP over 6 watts a kilo. Bless him. But to be fair, he has got a bit of a point. There's so many different power meters, smart trainers, cadence sensors, speed sensors. There's a vast array of different ways to actually measure your speed or your power and how that equates to each and individual software that you're using it against. I think until we get to the point where, you know, we're having race series where we're either live or everybody's on the same equipment and it is calibrated via the internet. I don't know how you do that, but I guess someone could remotely calibrate your trainer. And once that can be done, then things become a little bit more legitimate. But while there's so many different people on so many different pieces of equipment, it's never going to get the legitimacy that it needs. But hey, we've talked about that before. We know. Leave your comments down below if you want. But unless you get everybody in the same place at one time and you get everyone on the same trainer, it's never going to be 100% legit, is it? And even then, are people going to believe that then? I don't know. And that's your fill of news for today. Over 70% of you are watching these videos and are not subscribed. I can't tell you how much it means to me personally and how much it'll help the channel out. 1, if you hit that like button. 2, if you hit that subscription button. 3, if you hit that notification bell. And 4, you leave a bloody good comment down below. And if you've not liked any of this video, for whatever reason, then hit that dislike button and be off with it. See there.